life is too short, okay? We do not have time to be playing these games. How long should you wait before doing the deed with someone? Whenever I hear a girl is like going through a breakup, I'm like, oh my god, yes, you're about to glow up. Hello everybody! First of all, I know my hair is so curly. I tried heated rollers for like the first time in a while today and I didn't expect it to come out this curly, but they really do work. I kind of like it actually because my hair has never been like this. I kind of look like Annie. But anyways, hello everyone. If you're new here, I'm Charlize and today we're doing another girl talk video as your big sister. In today's video, we will specifically be talking about relationship and dating advice because you guys know I love talking about this. I feel like I have so much knowledge on this. I went through so many traumatic dating experiences and I learned so much. I went to therapy, but I'm now in a healthy relationship with my boyfriend. I asked you guys on Instagram to send in any questions and I picked out my few favorites that I'm going to be answering. So the first one that came up a lot was, how do I know if a guy likes me? You do not know until you fully know. And that goes with anything in life. You cannot make assumptions. When you and a guy are talking, sometimes they'll be flirting and you do get the vibe that, okay, you guys are feeling each other, but truly you will not know if someone wants to be with you or not unless they tell you or you ask them. So yes, a guy could be doing such nice gestures for you and that's amazing, but you should not be attached to this idea of, oh, maybe he likes me or does he not like me? And if you really want to know, then you should just straight up ask him because life is too short, okay? We do not have time to be playing these games and be waiting around. It's so much better to just know rather than have this thought linger in your head and constantly take up space in your brain. The next question is, do I have to be mysterious or nonchalant to get guys? Whenever I see like dating advice videos, I hate when people say like, oh, girls have to be hard to get, girls have to be mysterious, or especially the idea I hate so much is when I see people say your relationship is not gonna work out unless the guy likes you so much more. I understand the idea of a guy being the provider for women because traditionally that's how it's always been, and it honestly varies depending on people's values. I personally like my boyfriend to be a provider of some sort, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I think that he needs to be way more in love and obsessed with me than I need to be. You should always think of a relationship as a team effort. You should both be putting in the work and love to make it work and to win the game. As for the whole nonchalant part, I don't think you have to be if that's not who you are. You should never try to be someone you're not. I don't think you should get overly attached to someone and depend on someone to validate yourself, but I also don't think you should just completely shut yourself off and pretend that you don't actually like someone when you do. I will always say this, the world needs more love. So love as loudly as you want, don't get too attached, but spread love, give love, and receive love. Is it wrong to have a crush on a guy who has a girlfriend? It's not wrong to have a crush on anybody because you feel how you feel. You can't really change that. What matters is how you act on that behavior. So if you have a crush on someone who clearly has a girlfriend, I don't care if this guy says that he and his girlfriend are breaking up or whatever. You do not need to act on that because they are in a relationship and you need to respect that, and you don't want to even put yourself in that situation because that's really messy. And I also don't think you should be hung up on a guy and wait for the possibility of him and his girlfriend to break up. I think you should completely remove yourself from that and just try to distance yourself from this guy because it's not healthy. It's this waiting game and you put too much energy into that and it can be mentally draining. I promise you, one guy is not the only guy in the world. The next question is, how do you know if he's the right person? And I love this question because I feel like we are constantly asking ourselves, like, are we making the right decisions? I don't believe that there is the perfect person for you. I don't believe that there is only one person for you in the entire world, and it's just all about, are you and someone willing to work together to make it work? And does this person help you grow? Does this person align with your values? Love is just simply choosing someone who supports you and uplifts you. If you want to know if someone is right for you, you should really reflect on how you feel, how you are with that person. I have this conversation with my roommate all the time because we've both seen each other in toxic relationships. We're both now in healthy relationships, and I think the biggest difference is that like all the problems in your life become more about you and like internal problems and how to make yourself grow, rather than when you're in a toxic relationship, all the problems was the relationship and it was such an energy drainer. How long should you wait before doing the deed with someone? I remember I constantly questioned this for a long time, especially when I was in college and I was just like dating around. You know, you always hear, especially from older people, like you should wait until you guys are actually dating, or you shouldn't give in so easily because that's all that guys want. And that's not necessarily true. I think you should protect yourself and make sure you are making a decision that feels right to you. But also, if a guy wants only one thing from you, you can't know that until it happens. Like, you could wait months. He could still choose to leave you after months of waiting. It's not about how long you wait, it's just about the person you're with. I remember when I started talking to my boyfriend Junie, like this was a big conversation that came up before we started dating because I was just so scared because of my past experiences. And I remember I talked to a lot of my friends about this too, and I even talked to one of my guy friends who's a lot older than me. He just told me, you know what, Char, it shouldn't matter. If this person truly does like you, then that should not be an issue. It's whether or not you are ready and you want to. Obviously, I want you guys to make sure that you feel good, you feel safe, you feel comfortable, because it is honestly a very vulnerable thing for us. Naturally, girls just get attached to guys way more after that. How do I move on from a crush or a relationship? It is truly time that heals you, but also you need to make sure that you are respecting yourself and not giving in to maybe behaviors that would not allow you to move on. So for me, out of sight, out of mind is something that I always do, and it always helps me move on. Like, just completely block them, remove any friends or anything that makes me feel like I fall back into this habit of just like wanting to know what's going on and just like holding me back from moving on. And it's a lot easier said than done. Obviously, if you block someone, you could just unblock them and go stalk their feed, but it definitely helps with like no contact and stuff. I make sure that I do not contact people that I'm trying to move on from. And a big one is just having compassion for yourself and for that person, because a lot of the times the reason why we can't move on from people is because we're so angry at them. We want to understand why the relationship ended, or if things could be better, or we want to understand if we were in the wrong. A relationship ends because it was meant to end, it was meant to teach you something, and there's really nothing you can change about that. So have compassion towards yourself, forgive yourself for maybe anything that you are blaming yourself for, and also have compassion for the other person. Obviously, that doesn't mean you need to forgive the other person, but if you hold on to so much anger or regret for another person, it holds so much space in your heart and it takes up so much of your energy, especially if it's anger. Because for me, it was so hard for me to move on from people because of the anger I felt. I don't need anything from this anymore. I learned what I needed to learn, and I'm grateful that I was able to learn from it and live my life. I know, like, for a crush, it's a kind of different story because maybe there was no relationship, maybe it's just someone you like and you're trying not to like them anymore for certain reasons. But I still think like distancing yourself from someone is the best thing you can do. Even if they are your friend, if you have this like romantic feeling toward them and you know it's not gonna go anywhere, you're only breaking your own heart if you continue to keep them in your life. The next question is how to glow up after your breakup. I love this question. I was literally thinking to myself the other day, like, a girl during a breakup can be the strongest person ever. You are just fueled with so much passion. If you genuinely prioritize yourself and you tell yourself, okay, you know what, I'm gonna work on myself, I'm gonna get better and glow up from this, you can literally do whatever you want. And I stand by that because girls are so powerful. If we have something to motivate us, really utilize this time, okay? First of all, going back to the moving on from your ex, you gotta detach, you gotta distance yourself, you gotta go no contact, you got to focus on yourself, because the more you like try to go back to this ex, the more you are falling back into old habits, you are taking a step back, you're not allowing yourself to move forward or glow up. So for me, I was personally so fueled by this. I told myself, you know what, I'm not gonna allow myself to be so disrespected ever again, because I was so angry during this time. I specifically remember, because like I'm doing social media, right, and I told myself I'm going to be so successful on social media that even though this guy has me blocked, he still can't escape me because he's gonna have to see me on like YouTube. And that's exactly what happened. So truly, like, have a goal, put your mind to it, and just work towards that goal. And during this time, you just have full 100% commitment to yourself. You have so much time to yourself. Act as if you are the love of your life, because you should be the love of your life. Take yourself out on dates, buy yourself nice things, take care of yourself, take care of your health. Like, if anything, whenever I hear a girl is like going through a breakup, I'm like, oh my god, yes, you're about to glow up, yes. I have a fear of being 23 and up and not having a boyfriend. I think 23 and up, you're still very young. So I would say, like, don't put so much pressure on yourself for that. You also can't control it, like at what age you find someone and marry someone, because you could get married at the age of like 21 and be with someone until you're 50 and then realize you want to get a divorce, and then now you're at 50 years old and you're back to step one. You know, you really can't control it. If a relationship is something you truly value and it's something you want, you definitely have to make an effort. You know, you can't just like sit back and be like, well, I don't ever go outside, but I do want a relationship. Like, you have to make somewhat an effort. It's kind of unrealistic to never make an effort. What is your purpose? Why do you want a relationship? Because I think it's one thing to say like, oh, well, I want a relationship because, you know, I'm in my mid-20s and I feel like I need to. But like, why? Why do you need to be in a relationship? What is that going to do for you? How you want this relationship to happen? Oh, I want to meet him at a coffee shop. Go to coffee shops more. If you want to meet someone by going on a lot of dates, get a Hinge. Even if you feel like you're getting older and you're not in a relationship, that doesn't mean you should settle for any relationship. It is so much worse, and it will hold you back so much more to be in a bad relationship rather than to just be single. Now, I know there's also the whole thing of wanting kids, and there's a certain time frame where it's healthy to have kids. I literally got this advice from an older relative that I have: freeze your eggs. If having kids is a big value for you and that's something that you want, freeze your eggs. The next question is, should I sneak a relationship behind my parents' back? Oh, this reminds me of high school days, because I was not allowed to date. All my friends were not allowed to date. Obviously, I think it would be irresponsible for me to say, yes, you should, but also I can't control what you want to do. I understand why parents don't want their kids to date, but personally, I think if I were a parent, I wouldn't tell my kid, like, you can't be dating, because I know that they might. I feel like the more you tell someone you can't do something, the more they're going to do it. Knowing my friends who have done it, and me personally, I've tried to do it before in high school. I like went on like one date before in high school. It's a little bit like mentally draining, like knowing that you have to sneak around and stuff, like you can't be open about it. Do I ask for closure or do I let it be? Do what makes you feel the best. You can ask for closure if that is what you want. No one is stopping you from that, but just know that that doesn't mean you're going to get the closure you want, because maybe you do ask for closure, but then it just leaves you with more questions. There's always that. At the end of the day, I really don't believe that closure is going to do much for you. Something that I always told myself during my breakup was the breakup was the closure. If you feel like you might be reaching out for closure for other reasons, like maybe just to talk to them one more time or maybe try to get back with them, then I would say leave it. I love this question. Are manifestation, fate, the universe, and all of those theories real? I do believe in those things, especially manifestation, but I think there's a difference between what people think of like law of attraction versus law of assumption, which is something I've been like working on a lot recently. I feel like manifesting a certain relationship, like you can't just say like, I want a relationship, but when you are manifesting, you need to be very specific. And I feel like in a sense that does work. It allows you to acknowledge what you want in a relationship and exactly what you're looking for. So when you are dating or when something does come to you, you know if it's for you or not. I wouldn't say I believe in like soulmates and stuff like that and one true love. Manifestations, I do believe in that. And the final question for this video is, how long should I wait to say I love you to my partner? Not like a specific, oh, you need to be waiting 3 months in or you need to be waiting until 1 year in. You don't really know love until you've been through a long period of time. I just feel like saying I love you doesn't have as much meaning as like the action of being with someone and choosing to be with someone for a long period of time. So like that's why I don't really put so much emphasis or like thought into I love you. I mean, me and my boyfriend did say it pretty early on into our relationship. We said it like 3 months in. It was like a big deal, obviously, but now after being together for over a year, looking back on that, I'm like, oh, okay, like maybe we did love each other, but now after a year, I'm like, no, but I know that we love each other because of what we've been through and willingness to choose each other through hard times. In that 3 months, like maybe we didn't really know, but we said it because we felt it in that moment, and that's okay. Trying to figure out if someone loves you or not as well based on their actions and being in the relationship, and through time of being in the relationship, you will feel it. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I love giving you guys relationship advice. Comment and let me know what other girl talk advice video you want to see from me next week. Make sure to like and subscribe to get more of my videos and my big sister advice. I also post on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat every single day, and I will see you next Saturday at the same time.